Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while with this whole pandemic thing that's been going around. It took the wind out of my sails, removed all of the wind from the sails. So although I've had this version of the Luna now for a little while, I haven't really been out using it or doing much at all, to be honest with you. But today I got the willy back in me and it spurred me on to do a little video. Another chap had also commented on a previous video mentioning he'd also picked up the Heinnie Haynes edition, so I thought I'd probably better buck my ideas up and have a little chat about it. So here is the Heinnie Haynes and the original Luna next to each other. They are almost identical. The steels are different. One's D2, which is the Heinnie Haynes, and then your other one is the Bowler N690, as previously mentioned. The only other defining things that are slightly different, whether you can see that the blade spine is more squared off on the Heinnie Haynes, whereas the original Luna has slightly round off spine. But also, one of my gripes with the original Luna was, if you look here where I'm pointing with the Heinnie Haynes edition, that weird how they've finished that, this one down, how they've finished that finger nick, nail nick, has got like a weird finish to it, whereas the one on the Heinnie Haynes edition, I'll get my hand under there, is finished much more aesthetically pleasing, as you would say. So mentioned steel, D2, Bowler N690. I've probably mentioned this before, but steels don't bother me too much, to be honest with you, unless it's, you know, weak as fox piss and doesn't cut through anything, then that would bother me. But both of these take and hold a really good edge. When the Heinnie Haynes edition first was released, I heard about it and I did recommend it to quite a few of my friends. I originally actually ordered 3 of these, planning to keep 2, but they quickly went out of stock, so I ended up having to sell one of them to my friends, and the other one I've so far managed to keep. But they did come back into stock at Heinnie Haynes, but for some reason I've got a funny feeling they might be gone again. You'll have to check as to when you're watching this video, but it's a really nice knife. My friends used it for preparing some game and just general everyday carry bits and pieces, and he loves it as well. He's not a major knife nut like me, but both my friends now that also own this knife are really happy with it. It was slightly shy of £30 in the UK, so compared to the price of the original Luna, which was like £85, I think, off the top of my head when I got mine, you wouldn't be quite so upset if you lost this one, or it was removed from your person, perhaps by authorities or something like that, and if you couldn't argue your toss sort of thing. But just under £30, that's not going to make you cry if you did lose it. Actions on them, I just open that up. They are very similar, although they do sound slightly different, but that will be the handle material. The Heinnie Haynes edition just sounds hollow, is the best comparison. If I can close them together, although you couldn't really tell it on that, but you give that a tap, that's solid. Give that a tap, you know that's got a plasticky handle, but that is grippy. It's not sliding around in your hands. It feels nice. The action on it, it feels to me almost identical to the original Luna, which was one of the things that I you know, really liked about the Luna. It runs nicely on the phosphor bronze washers. I haven't took this one apart, but I did watch another video, and when I took apart, that did also still run on the phosphor bronze washers. So comparing it to the action of the Urban, you know, that just, it feels nicer than the Urban for sure. Size wise, let's just weigh these up. Yeah, so blade and handle length is a bit longer than what it is on the Urban. There's a bit of muck there on the Urban blade. It's been in the truck for a little while, to be honest, so that has been getting out and doing bits and pieces. It's a bit grubby. Pocket clip again, being left-handed, that sort of was one of my gripes, and it's the same for this one. You can't reverse it. It's not the end of the world, but you know, that's sort of a tick for the Urban because you can reverse that one, but it's not a deal breaker. So your other knife, which you can probably see in the background, is another one that I would say is perhaps comparable to the Heinnie Haynes Luna, if I just open that up, and that is the Bokeh Plus Tech Tool 1, I believe. Just single blade job, slip joint again, UK legal. Hang on, let me just clean that blade off again. This was again, as you can tell by the red and the H on the blade, a Heinnie Haynes edition. 12C27, again, takes a nice edge, holds an edge fine for EDC tasks. Size wise as well, let's have a look. It's about the same. There's not a lot in that whatsoever. I still prefer the action on the Luna. This Bokeh, it's just quite stiff to break that first bit, and then there's no stop in between, so it's just all and then snap shut. Again, whereas the Luna, you got like your third stop and then it just slams shut. You can open the Luna one-handed if you wish. It's not easy and it takes a bit of a kerfuffle. When you get used to it, you can do it. You can't do it with the Bokeh. That is more than likely going to cut you before you manage to get that out, unfortunately. But yeah, I think the Heinnie Haynes Luna is a bargain, to be honest. If I was to, I think this was about the same money, the Bokeh. Maybe slightly less, perhaps £25. This was, you know, £5 a deer, I say. I'd still pick the Luna for the sake of a £5. Nicer, some would say a nicer, better steel, if it bothers you that much, but it's just a different knife, I suppose. Although they are very similar, they do feel very different, to be honest. Handle wise though, material on the Luna is much more grippy than the Bokeh. It's going to be difficult to tell on there, but you see the Bokeh's texture is quite smooth, whereas the Luna's quite rough. I think in some ways, although the handle, the titanium handle of the original Luna is very nice, I think as an actual working knife, the grippiness of the G10 is probably more usable. If you had wet hands or something, the titanium might slip and slide a bit, but this won't. Yeah, definitely worth buying. I don't know if they're back in stock. If they are, grab one. Like I say, I do actually still have, one in a box completely unused and new, so maybe that's something I could give away if the channel, well, if I pull my finger out and start making some actual videos again and it becomes a popular channel, it might be worth doing a little giveaway on one perhaps. But One of the other things I was going to mention in this video is it worth me doing videos on things like watches and torches? There are other things that I have quite a few of and interest me, so I can have a chat about that sort of thing. But don't be afraid to get down in the comments, have a chat with me about these sort of things. I love talking about knives, torches, all that sort of stuff. Get on there and let me know what you think. Cheers, guys.